Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this really cute crown box, it's called. I've seen several people share versions of this on the internet. I first saw it from fellow demonstrator Claudia Hange, and then I also saw it shared previously by the blog Steen im Flow. And I just fell in love with it and decided to resize it to fit in EOS Lip Balm. The square part of this box is 1.5 inches square, so it easily fits things like EOS Lip Balm, Ferrero Rocher, Lindor Truffle, tea lights. It's just a really, really sweet box, and it's pretty easy to put together, so let me show you how to do it. We're going to start with a piece of the All Is Bright Designer Series paper. I love this paper. We've got the photorealism on one side and then patterns on the back. And this version just screams Christmas. So the size of the paper we're using is 6 3/8 by 4.5. And along the 6 3/8 inch side, we're going to score this at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. I'm going to rotate it to the 4.5 inch side, and we're just going to score this at 1.5 and 3. Now I've brought in the template, and what we're going to do, we've got our little 3/8 of an inch tab here along the right hand side. So we're going to focus on these top 4 squares. And first I'm going to do diagonal score lines from corner to corner. Then we'll take it back to the Simply Scored to do these straight lines. And then I'll show you an easy trick to add these hole punches. So I'm just going to bring in a ruler, and it's going to be very hard for you to see on this paper. I'm going to flip it over because then I think you can see the score lines better. But so I'm going to score again in those squares from corner to corner. Okay, so I think you can see those diagonal score lines there on the paper. Now I'm going to bring this back to the Simply Scored. I'm going to do it back on this side because I've got the measurements for that. But we're basically going to score straight down to the intersection of that crisscross. I'm not going to go all the way down, so we're just going to stop about halfway. And we're going to do that at 3/4, 2 1/4, 3 3/4, and 5 1/4. Okay, now next we're going to fold and burnish on all of the vertical and horizontal score lines. And then we're just going to manually fold on the diagonal score lines, and I'm actually going to fold those in this direction, so fold them kind of backwards. And then finally we're going to fold those little half score lines in the opposite direction. So what you're going to end up with is the pattern's going to kind of look like this from the inside. So we've got our diagonal ones are going kind of facing this way, and then the short ones are facing out. I'm going to show you a quick trick to punch the holes. So I'm just going to kind of zigzag this. So we have kind of all 4 layers of paper folded together. Now if it's easier for you to see on the other side of this paper, depending on what color paper you're doing, I can actually see the diagonal score lines better on the red side of the paper. But I'm just going to come in with my hole punch, and I just want to show you on the template here. We are going to punch on either side of the bottom diagonals. So on either side, they're not going to all perfectly line up, but they're going to be close enough, and it's going to save you some time because we're going to just punch twice and all 8 of the holes will be punched. So I'm just going to come in with my 1/8 of an inch hole punch, and I'm just lining up that hole punch on the diagonal line. So if I turn this upside down, I've come in, I've lined up my hole punch on this diagonal line. I don't know, I'm about 1/4 of an inch from the little intersection there. And then I'm going to punch. Hopefully you can see that. It's hard to see the score line. And then I'm going to come in on the other side, right on that score line, and I'm just going to turn it this way and kind of eyeball that the punches are lined up this direction and punch. And they'll be close enough, but see, now we've got all 8 holes punched. Quick and easy. All right, now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do some cutting. I'm going to first cut away this lower rectangle piece here. I'm also going to slightly notch in on this tab on this section here, but then I'm going to kind of cut this at a 45-degree angle. And the reason why we want to do that is just to make sure that that glues in there very nicely at this crown part of the box. I'm going to notch in here and remove that lower rectangle. Then I'm just going to cut this corner off at a 45-degree angle. I'm just eyeballing it. And then I'm going to cut up each of these bottom vertical score lines, stopping at the first horizontal score line. So kind of creating 4 movable tabs along the bottom. So it looks like that. All right. So now it's time to put our box together. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to go ahead and fold on the second score line from the left and take some liquid glue and place that right along that tab. I'm going to fold from the first score line on the right, and those should line up. All right, now here's our seam here. So this is our back panel. Again, back panel, fold into the 2 side tabs, then the back tab, and I'll put glue on this last tab. This is our front tab. And fold that into place. Okay, then I'm going to grab this festive EOS Lip Balm. I saw this at Target. It's so cute with the red and white stripes. I'm going to press that right into the box, and it is a bit of a snug fit. Obviously, the Ferrero or the Lindor or even Tea Lights would fit a little bit better, but I just love gift-giving EOS Lip Balms to folks during the holidays. So just wanted to show you, we're going to kind of pinch this together here. Now you'll see if we folded it the right way, so again, the crisscross is folded in, the little short ones folded out, and then when we put in the twine, that's going to pull that all together and give it that really cool crown top. So I'm going to grab our Whisper White and Silver Baker's Twine, and I'm just going to start to feed that through these holes from the front. So this is our front panel here. I'm going to start on the right hole here and feed that through the rest of the holes. All right, we'll trim off the other end. And then I'm just going to tie this in a bow as I kind of pull this together. Once the bow is tied, then you can just kind of play with the top here to get it just the way you want. Just kind of push it both ways a little bit to get it to kind of blossom open. And that is just a really cool top for that box. Now let's do a little bit of stamping. I'm using the stamp set from the Christmas Traditions Punch Box, which I love this as a holiday gift this year. You get a set of 6 stamps. You get 2 ink pads. You get a clear block to put the stamps on, and you also get the Christmas Traditions Punch, which is a great punch, especially for this size of a box. And we're going to stamp this in Cherry Cobbler on Whisper White. Then I'm going to come in with the Christmas Traditions Punch and punch the sentiment out. We're going to pop that up on 4 dimensionals just to make sure that's nice and popped out. Pop that right on the front. It's a great fit. Then I'm just going to grab a little bit of bling from the Frosted and Clear Epoxy Droplets. And I'm just going to grab a small one of these and place that right on the front. And there we go, a beautiful crown box. This one holds an EOS Lip Balm, but again, it'll hold Tea Lights, Ferrero Rocher, a Lindor Truffle, or any other number of treats and gifts. And I just love the way it turned out. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and a picture of the template. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. I have options to subscribe to both my monthly newsletter as well as my daily blog updates, and I'd love to welcome you as a new subscriber. You can shop with me anytime at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you're interested in earning a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, I'd love to have you join my team of Paper Pixies, and you can purchase the starter kit at thepaperpixie.com/join. If you give this project a try, I'd love to see it. Feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #PaperPixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and happy holidays. Take care. Bye.